Family, welcome. So, I had been taking a break in between my transit trackers that I get out for my higher tier patrons, and I was just going to close my eyes. I had something playing on my phone, and I was just gonna think about it and listen. That was hours ago, and when I slipped under, I had this experience that I have to share with you. And basically, what happened is I shifted a timeline, and I can't tell how big of a shift this is. And when I woke up and I was really thinking about the dream itself, um, that's when I was instructed to do a tarot reading on it. And hello, Player Dead, and Carl, welcome. And it's just, there's no coincidences. There's absolutely no coincidences. I have a session tomorrow where I'm working with one of my people to go over this exact thing, timeline jumping and timeline shifting. So, in a nutshell, basically, there are all these different versions of you in existence. So there's the version of you that made this choice and life went in that direction. There's a version of you that made the other choice and life went down that direction. There's a version of you that made all the wrong decisions, all of them, and became a worser and worser, lower and lower vibrational person. There's the total opposite where you always took the high road every single time and you evolved very, very fast. And there's a timeline out there where you manifested very easily and quickly, and so, and everything in between. And the little decisions that we make, if I decided to take a sip of water at the beginning of this or at the very end, or if I did or did not at the very beginning, that's my main timeline. And maybe like a little sip of water takes me like a little branch off, like a little capillary or a little stream off, but then I get right back onto the main timeline, the main where my energy and my subconscious is creating my reality. Now, when you guys learn to do things like psychokinesis and telekinesis, you're changing the matrix in really big ways. So you guys are going to be a little bit more, I don't even know if I should say susceptible, because you have more agency. The more self-discipline you have, the more self-knowledge you have, the more you learn about your own energies, learn about yourself through tarot, through astrology, and through energetic self-mastery, the more you have control over your personal destiny. And it doesn't feel like life is just like pooping on you. It doesn't feel like life is just throwing these things at you to make you feel powerless and out of control. It's kind of the exact opposite. No matter what is happening, you know how to work it. And so it's that's its own timeline for every single one of us. The closer we get to that kind of energetic mastery and the further we get from it. So there was an energetic shift, absolutely. And so I'm gonna take a peek at this tarot and see what's going on, because it's not just me, it's all of us. We're all connected. Every single physical thing has its own vibrational frequency, its own density. And honestly, you guys, spirituality and science is perfectly married. They perfectly support each other. They're perfectly complementary. They're just sort of like this odd couple that you just don't, what is it called? Like the prom queen and the like the outcast, or the nerd, or the rock and roller, or whatever. It's like this odd couple that they, on the surface, they don't really look like they like should go together, but they end up being like this perfect match somehow. So I'm going to talk more about that too, especially because there's so much. I read so many books and I read so many websites, and I'm always like searching for better materials for my people over on Patreon. So I'm always like trying to put something together for you guys. So let's start with this. I'm using my Rider Waite. Like, this is like the deck, you guys. So let's take a look to see, because this was a quantum jump, and my astral adventure last night That's all I'm going to say as well. So let's see, what's the message that I'm here to deliver for my people today? What am I supposed to tell everyone watching? Okay, thank you. All right, she's saying we're starting with one timeline. Thoughts, mentality, what you're thinking about. The Star and the Six of Swords. Interesting. So in this timeline, mentally, you are considering moving on from, this might be you considering changing your timeline, quantum shifts, timeline jumping. And timeline jumping is when it's more than just, you might think it's something like making a big decision that takes your life in a whole different direction. It's like that times a million. Timeline jumping is when you want to change your entire reality. Someone's thinking about it, or someone's being inspired to do this, or someone's believing that it's finally possible, is what I'm getting. Someone's finally having some faith in themselves, in their lives, that they have some agency, that they have some control, but that this control is not one that is forced or one that is pushed or calculated. This is a mentality of being inspired, maybe even meditation and having faith. Wow, the Wheel of Fortune. Mentally, this timeline is, gosh, it's almost like you are finding and learning the secrets of the universe. Personally, I like to do my timeline shifting in the shower, and like this weird big nap that I had, just like, oh my God, it was a really big experience. So just like I was saying beforehand, the Sphinx at the top of this wheel, they sit at the top with that sword of truth, and that wheel spins always. It always spins. It brings the fates of men up, and it carries the fates of men down to the depths. But that Sphinx is always sitting there. And as you can see in all the four corners, we have the fixed signs, all reading books, the books of self-knowledge. The more you know about yourself, the more you can be like the Sphinx. Because no matter when the wheel, the W's and my R's, no matter if it's bringing you to the very top of human experience and in your life and you're feeling fantastic, you need to maintain a specific neutrality in your energy field. Just as much as when you need that when life is bringing you to the very lowest pits of the depths of experience, you need to keep that neutrality. You need to just keep your wits about you. So I feel like someone is experiencing some big life changes, but mentally you are able to maintain this. It's like either your perspective is above it, or you might be learning more about yourself in the process. And there's faith here. There's faith and belief. You might be learning more about astrology. You might be learning more about the tarot. You might be learning more about energetic mastery, or even just about your own energies. You might be learning more about yourself. And it's helping you move on from some, I don't know how bad the stress was mentally. If you could have like a real difficult time with anxiety and stress, or it could have just been about a specific thing. But this is one timeline here in the mentality. Six of Cups, bottom of the deck. Six of Cups, what else is it? Six of Cups, the World, and the Five of Pentacles, yeah. So you may have had a history mentally of, and maybe even your subconscious was programmed this way to always feel like you're in survival mode, or to always feel the lack, or to always feel like you get the fuzzy end of the lollipop, or to always feel like someone's going to leave, someone's going to take something from you, the world is crummy. And, you know, there might be someone that kind of epitomizes that for you, someone from the past, someone you're used to, maybe grew up with. But there's a close to this situation. There's a close to the door of either this person's influence, or this mentality, or this emotional state, or the person themselves. take a look at your heart space. Right in my lap too. The Page of Wands. So this timeline, you're feeling quite energized. There might be children around you. This for me is always like the child pulling on mom's skirt, saying, "Mom, mom, 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 mom," until you get her attention. I don't know what you guys were like, but I guess we were all terrible. It's the heart space saying, speaking of which, if this is your child, they have a very heroic temperament. Okay. My mom raised me like I was John Connor. So no wonder I grew up to believe that I was here to save the world. And then COVID happened, and I was like, this is my time to shine. Okay. Emotionally, there's a clear-cut victory. There's something here that you're feeling like you have a direction. You're feeling like you have a very strong mind. It's interesting. These are fire and air energies in your heart space. Like, this is telling me that your heart is just like energized, pumped up. What's this last energy for the heart space? You know, mother of pearl. I had this card in the original thumbnail, and I didn't include it because it kind of made the text a little bit difficult to read. This was a psychic slip though. Oh, I have to download Cancer for last week because Cancer pre-shuffle and the extended both had psychic slips. That's where I call out a tarot card because she shows it to me. She shows me the tarot card, or she tells me, she whispers in my ear, and then it pops out. There's a compilation on my Watch Natalie story highlights, but that I'll accept your request, but it's private now. But yeah. There's a lot, so like to download, so I always like forget, but I have to remember Cancer last week's. Okay, back to this. So, but I got this freebie. This is working with radiant energy. This is working with your inner energy systems, and she pours these waters back and forth until they're perfectly even. This archangel here, and if you see that road leading to the back to the top of the mountain, that is the crown of glory. Up above the mountains, as you can see, they have 1 foot on land and 1 foot in water. That's a supreme balance. Supreme balance. And even that triangle on their chest, on top of that square, that's a symbol of the Book of Tarot. Using tarot as a means to bring yourself back into a better balance. So in this timeline, you may be utilizing tarot. You're watching this reading. You may be, and this can even be a timeline. You right now living this life could even be the timeline that another version of you is trying to snap into and trying to come into. So if you like wake up feeling a certain way, they may have left their timeline, that version of you, and they're like with you now, and you're like in this timeline. So you may have other memories, you may have other connections, you may have other insights and information that you brought with you, but to you it just feels like a dream. So this temperance energy, and just remember, you guys, that we work with the tarot as one of the tools for energetic self-mastery, because number one, it uses psychometry. So when you're doing tarot, you are channeling your answers through your hands, and you're getting your answers through, you know, what pops out. So even like if I do a tarot reading in live, like in person, they shuffle and they cut the deck and I deal it, and it's still correct. It's still, it resonates, it's accurate, because I'm having them shuffle. When we do it this way, you guys are connecting with me the more that you watch me. That's how I psychically do my work, is I look at your photograph, forward-facing photograph, no hats or sunglasses, and I connect with you. And so my body is, your bodies are the crystals. Your body is, as Philip says, the media, and you're channeling the, oh, I keep forgetting to tell you guys on YouTube. So I had a fantastic discussion about metaphysical reality with a great astrologer, Philip, Daniel Miles. So check it out on his YouTube, Unifying Perspectives. I am very much looking forward to more collaborations with him moving forward. He's, like I said, very technical, very wonderful, very very great astrologer. So working with the tarot, every tarot card is a record of human experience. So when you're channeling your tarot cards, you're channeling this experience either happening in your present, your past, or your future. So in this timeline, you are balancing your emotions and maybe coming into a sort of peace. This might even be a timeline where you're getting into meditation or something. Queen of Swords, Death, and the Two of Swords. Again, with this indecision, I just noticed something peeking out. There's another card here. Spicy, very spicy. You're shoring up your confidence. You might have been insecure about all this stuff. And here's kind of going back to what your mentality is shifting into. This is like this is like a timeline in, like, this is like while things are changing. It's like you're hopping on some kind of great momentum, and you're going with this flow. And when you do that, that's what astrology helps with, is the timing. Because if you're ready to go, but the astrology is not there to support you, you're spinning your wheels. And you can remember any time of your life that you've tried that you've tried to force something to happen, trying to make it just go. But it either wasn't, karmically, astrology can tell you that if it just wasn't the right time, or if there was something else you're supposed to be focusing on. This is the exact opposite. This is you feeling life changing and you going with the flow and like making that wave even bigger. And that's what you do. You make hay while the sun shines. So, when it's cresting, you want to make, when it's happening, you want to make the absolute most of it, the most of whatever this experience is. And that's what I see. Now, emotionally, there may be a person in your energy field that is inspiring you, or that's just you. But again, we have this like child with the mother dynamic here. It's like, mom. What? Let's take a look at this other timeline. I'm going to use this deck. Just take some of this beautiful incense smoke here. Immediately needed to start burning frankincense. So I was like, you ever wake up from a dream and you just feel like you're in a whole different reality? I know you have. Let's see this time. Okay. Let's take a look at this next timeline. Okay. Mentality of this other timeline. Look at all this. The Page of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. Wow, what a difference. This timeline, the mentality is stuck between not trusting their feelings, not trusting their gut, and trying to be very practical, trying to look at the physical reality. This is someone that doesn't feel like they can change it. This is someone that doesn't feel like, or doesn't think that they can. They don't think that they have an effect on the matrix. They're very disempowered. This is why they're showing up as feeling like they're in between a rock and a hard place. As that Two of Swords. But they have these two big, beautiful swords that they can use, right? They can use these swords, but they're blindfolded. So how are you going to swing swords around when you're blindfolded? You're not. So this is someone who's stuck. They have a lot of power they're not using. And when we have that in ourselves, when we're feeling powerless, when people around us are feeling powerless, it's always because we're just not ready to be powerful yet on some level, probably on a subconscious, unconscious level. So this is a timeline. This is a version of you that is really absorbed. This is a version of you that is more thinking and feeling and ego and action, not spiritual yet. Okay. This is a version of you. And you know what? Here's the thing about timelines, you guys, is that every thought that we think, every action that we take, every single moment of every day, we're writing new karma. We're doing energy work. We're changing the matrix in little ways. And so when you don't practice energetic self-mastery, or you're not disciplined, your subconscious tells you your reality. It programs the reality that you experience. It's powerful. Every single one of us is like this, like in the matrix, like a big battery. But so you might feel like life is crazy, or that you're giving your power away, is the reality of that. But before you get spiritual, then you are just subject to the thoughts that you've thought before. You're like, you don't realize or take ownership of, wait, I can choose my thoughts. My attitude determines everything. I can change this. And when you have intrusive thoughts, or you have emotional things coming up, and you get into a crying jag, or your fear overcomes you, have anxiety attacks, whatever, those are all red flags to delve deeper into that and figure that out and get to the root of it and heal it. So when we're not ready to do that, we run away. We have all these coping mechanisms. This goes on and on and on and on. But when someone comes onto a path of self-mastery, when somebody gets when somebody gets wise to how powerful they really are, they change the matrix in bigger ways. This is a timeline version of you that is emotionally immature, feeling very strong emotions, feeling very big emotions, big, strong emotions. Maybe it's love. Maybe it is fear. Maybe it is overwhelm. The Page of Cups is when we like fall in love for the first time, like puppy love. And we feel it, and it's so exciting, and it's glorious, and it just, like, if we indulge in it, it elevates us to the highest echelons of human experience. But it's awkward, and it's really sensitive. It's sensitive to the slightest little change in the air, in the wind, in the dynamic of the relationship. And the slightest thing will have us plummeting into feeling unloved, unwanted. This isn't going to work. They don't like me anymore. And it's just an immature love. We can keep this excitement. We can keep this depth of feeling. This grows into the Knight of Cups, which is Romeo, who has learned a little bit more and a little bit more self-protective, but still not quite there. The King of Cups is when you get to that emotional intelligence. So we can keep this. We're still supposed to be able to love like we've never been hurt, to love openly and fully and completely and vulnerably, but get better at discerning and build up more sophisticated, mature, emotionally coping mechanisms, so that when we do get rejected, when we shoot our shot and we miss, that it doesn't scar us so bad that we never allow ourselves to feel this ever again. Seven of Pentacles. This timeline version of you, if any of this is resonating, this is you looking out at your physical reality, and you might even be feeling a sense of lack. You might be like, you know what, I'm not ready yet. The timing is off. I just planted these pentacles. It's going to take a whole harvest season for them to produce anything. And, I plant 7 pentacles, but what if only 3 return? What if only 1 returns? What if nothing? What if I don't yield anything from this harvest, and then I have nothing to take out to market come next season, and then I starve for the winter? Chill. chill. Okay. But this is like very physical, density based. And so no wonder why this version of you is stuck between a rock and a hard place, because there's a lack of that emotional coping mechanism, and what you're physically seeing out in your reality is not measuring up somehow to you. But you're power away. Tell me about the emotional. Oh no, the Emperor. Would love to see the Emperor, daddy's home, under any other condition, but not with this kind of mentality. With that kind of mentality, emotionally, this creates a version of you that is, because of the emotional immaturity in your mentality, in your like your astral self and your emotional self, it makes you very dominating, makes you very maybe selfish, maybe pushy, maybe manipulative, maybe bossy, like in a negative connotation type of way, where you are so insecure because of what you're seeing, so insecure in your mentality that you try to force things your way, and you force based off of the strength of how much you care about something. So if you love something, it's an immature love. So you try to put it in a vice grip. You hold on as tightly as you can because you have a fear of it leaving, of abandonment or something. So you act like a little tyrant. Maybe you do. I'm not trying to call people out here. I'm just saying that there's like, and maybe this is not like all the time, but you have like these urges that come up where it's like, this really is freaking me out. I don't like how this is feeling. I don't like how this is going. I'm going to clamp down even harder. I'm going to make it even more difficult for someone else in this connection that I love. This can be family, this can be friends, this can be lovers, of course, but it's a way of relating emotionally that is not serving either of you. Wow, what different energy. Tell me about this emotional energy. Gosh, what's the message I'm here to deliver? Strength is the ego. That's so funny. That's so funny. Strength. Oh, we all have ego issues. Let me just, this is why I am a very private person. I share myself to help you guys feel more comfortable in what you're going through. I don't want anyone to feel shame, guilt, or fear regarding the self analysis, because you have to face it head on. You have to experience something or look at something from the past and be able to process it in a way that you don't judge. You don't judge yourself for. So I've been through ego deaths, and it feels like you are dying. It feels like your life is just up in smoke. It feels like your existence is being taken from you. It feels like you don't have any agency in life. It feels like you have no control over your destiny. It just feels like the most biggest, horriblest, dramaticest thing ever, going through an ego death, and it hurts. It really hurts. And the ego wants to self-persevere. So it's going to fight for dear life. And it's like, okay, here's what I've been saying like the past like day is, and I again put this on my Watch Natalie Instagram. It's private right now. I'll accept your request, and I'll follow back. But what I've been saying is like this new moon in Scorpio feels like cemetery ground. And I'm once a cemeterian, always a cemeterian. So like I was a cemeterian. I love that job, toxic manager. But anyway, love my job. I was a great cemeterian. It's a lot of counseling, and I worked with people on the very worst days of their lives, totally unprepared in some cases, and even in the best case scenario, when someone had pre-need contracts already set up, they still devastating. And even though I actually connected with my grandfather the night before last night through his dog Muggsy. I think that's what his name was, Muggsy. I saw him in my dream. I'm like, is that Muggsy? And I went to hug this dog, and it started to talk to me, and then my grandfather's voice came in clear as a bell. Ooh, hold on, you guys. Clear as a bell. So, even though I know that about the other side, even though I know that, even though we know that, as psychics, as empaths, it's still painful and it still hurts to lose somebody. It always does, though. So, this Scorpio new moon on Thursday. Oh, hold on, you guys. Hold on. Let me take care of this. Let me nip this in the bud. Okay. The Scorpio New Moon on Thursday is, oh gosh, I just keep seeing this cemetery. I love cemeteries. I've been going to cemeteries like for years and years and years. But when we lay someone to rest, there's rites, there's rituals, there's a funeral procession. Oh, I thought I did it. Okay. I'm still getting used to this. Okay, cool. We have to do this in a way that brings us closure, no matter what. No matter what, we have to go through with it. Now, sometimes we don't go to the funeral, we don't go to the burial, but it's very, very common in so many different cultures to do this. And so that's the attitude I would like you to take in burying your ego. Because the Emperor with strength, you're going to have to go through an ego death in order to move forward. You're going to have to, this is the timeline that emotionally you've got to, it's going to hurt though. I'm not even playing with you. It's going to hurt. It's going to feel like you are dying. It's going to feel like you're losing something. And that's the point of this ego. But here's the thing is that this ego of yours that would rather die than change, that is little you, okay? 5-year-old you that maybe had a parent that made horrible decisions. Maybe had a parent that abused their power. Maybe you had a parent that denied who you are. Maybe you had a parent that gaslit you. Maybe you had a narcissistic parent that would not allow you to have a better childhood than they had. Maybe you had a parent that was jealous of you. Their ego was so big and overbearing that it just overwhelmed your 5-year-old little body, your little aura. Okay? That's really what it is. So this timeline version of you is wanting some kind of healing and wanting to get out of this situation. Because look, we've got these two different timelines here, and this is a shift. This is a massive shift. This is a quantum jump. I knew it would be. Let's get one more position for this emotional space. So what I had to do, I mean, I was bawling my eyes out. I was freaking crying like a little baby. I didn't want to do it. It just like, it hurt, it burned. I love that I can make a fist now. You guys, how exciting is that? Oh, I feel so safe. I just feel like, man, I'm like back. I'm a great fighter. I'm such a better fighter than I am a dancer. I love dancing though. Bawling my eyes out. It hurts. But when you talk to that 5-year-old version of you, when you talk to that ego, real, really real. Okay, when you really, really get real about it and talk to that and visualize it, keep a photo of you, a printed photo of you at 5 years old, and talk to that feeling. That is when you can resolve and go through your ego death, and you put it to sleep. You let it, for me, it was so emotional. I was like crying. I was like, thank you so much for getting me through life. Thank you so much for getting me through, because a lot of times we have this overactive ego. We have this unhealthy ego because of a lack of self-esteem and because of, however we grew up, and it would overcompensate. Think of Kanye West, for instance. Think of Kanye West, okay? It got him through to get him where he is, but you can let it go. You don't need it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to a point where I was able to get out of certain things and survive. But you get out of survival mode. You don't have to stay in survival mode. And then you can let it go. Sorry, I didn't show you these cards. High Priestess, what else? The 2 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. Wow. This timeline version of you wants to evolve and grow. And what's interesting is that this might even be this can be you having already amassed a small fortune, having already gotten, married with the 2.4 kids and the white picket fence. This could already be someone that's already started their business. It's kind of incredible how much we can physically accomplish just driven by thoughts and emotions and actions and ego. But as Will Smith said, you cannot achieve out of trauma. So, with the Seven of Cups, it's like emotionally in this timeline version of you, you have an intuition that there's more, that there's like something behind the veil of everything that you're already looking at and experiencing in your life. And you're looking, it's like you have a sense though, because this is your emotion. So this Two of Wands is usually looking for a partner, looking for something, looking for the beyond, and not really knowing what's there. But it's the ego that's keeping you blocked. It's the ego that's just crystallized and keeping you stuck. It's like hardening you. It's just like I had great Zooms. I always have great Zooms, but I had a bunch of great Zooms today. And one of them came up talking about alcohol and the metaphysical effects of alcohol and marijuana. And with alcohol, so much alcohol over time damages the etheric web, and you harden. And if it's like all hard and crusty, you cannot get your own downloads. You can heal it. You absolutely can. I'm not saying like you cannot reverse this damage. If you want more on that, book a session with me, email me, send me your birth details, send me anything else that I need to know. I actually email you first after you book, but we'll talk about it. But you essentially, it does make it difficult for you to connect with your intuition. It makes it difficult for you to trust yourself. So that, with a combination of ego, with the combination of maybe trauma, with a combination of maybe, a couple of other things, you can see how this timeline version is very difficult. So people go their whole lives having a sense of what they could be, of a timeline they could jump on, and not quite able to do this, to do what you guys do, to do what we do here, and do the hard hermit work and the shadow work and healing those parts of us, because all of these negative toxic impulses that we have when we pick our poison, that's the red flag that we should, it's like how blood is blue but it turns red when it hits oxygen. When the negative feeling comes up, when a jealous feeling comes up, when a freaking hateful feeling comes up, it's your red flag. Okay, when these things like manifest, these are all red flags to go towards, not to run away from. So gosh, this is very interesting. And the Chariot, bottom of the deck. So this timeline version of you is like almost ready for a breakthrough. So on this timeline, we have that you're doing it, that you're inspired, that you are changing things, that you are believing in yourself, that you're believing in what's possible. You're already changing the matrix, and there may even be outside things to show you. I'm getting yellow marigolds. That's someone's confirmation. If you see yellow marigolds, I don't even know what those look like. I mean, they have to be yellow, but I saw the text, yellow marigolds. All right, for my gardener, watch. When you see yellow marigolds this week, or whenever you're tuning into this, if you're here in 2027 or whatnot, that's like your sign, your confirmation that you're changing the matrix, that you have support to do so. In this timeline, emotionally, you are healing. You're healing, and you may even be working with someone back and forth. You may be healing someone else too. Maybe you're healing each other. A lot of victory here, though. And it looks like you're healing through speech, through talking. There's this right here. No, this one. No, this one. This right here is a lot of talking. So I mean, you're going to be opening up, or like I'm talking about your emotions, talking all of this through with somebody. And it's like, it's what helps you bring things into balance. And remember, you guys, sound changes the level of vibration. So the music you're listening to, the YouTube videos you're listening to, the news things that you're listening to, the TV that you're listening to, everything from reporters on entertainment and what's happening in the entertainment world, to newscasters, to people talking about their art brushes, to all of that is changing the level of vibration, changing the matrix in your personal matrices affecting you. So be very discerning. You should have strong, oh, I forgot to make that video about boundaries today on my TikTok. I'm also on TikTok, watch Natalie. But you know, you should have some very strong boundaries of what you would allow into your space, what you allow into your mind to hit your ears, to get to your heart, to your physical presence. You know, who has that privilege to shake your hand and touch. It's why I really don't do physical in-person tarot readings, because that's a lot. That's like way too much. That's too much right there. But you know, I did recently for some people, and it was really great. It was really awesome. But it's very clear these are two totally different timelines. One is in stress and fear and worry and ego, but having an inkling, like, you know what, I feel like. So this is either you or someone you're connecting to. You guys are, a lot of you are already clearly in this other timeline where you are changing the matrix and you are already doing this work, especially those of you that are meditating, especially through this meditation. The star is this stardust. That's what these are. All these little stars, stardust that when it comes down to earth forms into this person, forms into her, and she's just like made of stardust. So it's just like there's something really inspirational. You may even feel like there's something that's too good to be true. Okay. I don't know if that's a person or a lifestyle. I really feel like it's a mentality that that can't be for me. I can't have that. That's not possible. You're moving on from that. Whether that's about yourself, I can't do something. I'm not good enough for this. I don't have the capability. I'm not ready. It's not the right time. You're moving on from that. You're moving on from that. And it's like you're just letting go of the stress of trying to control these outcomes. That's this lower vibrational version of you in this other timeline that's trying to control everything, that's trying to control the timing and the how and the who and the what, and like put it all together and have it all fit and make it really, really, you know. So it's a very different vibe, man. It's a very different vibe. I really do like what I'm seeing here, and I am guided to pull from my oracle here. My oracle. Let's take a look. What's the guidance for this timeline shift for my people here? What's the message that wants to come through for them? What's the message about this timeline? Let me grab something. I love this one. Directing lightning bolts. And wealth, claim it, it's yours. So for some of you, you know, this other timeline, it's like this about the harvest and taking it out. It's like planting the seeds, nurturing it, letting it grow, harvesting it, cleaning it all up, taking it out to market. You might be that's a timeline version of you in a different timeline that was always stressing out over every step of the process. Planting the seeds, finding something to stress about, planting these dang seeds in the soil, the temperature, the water, the air. Is there going to be enough water to fertilize or whatever these seeds? Okay, is it starting to sprout? You know, oh my God, is it going to grow? Is it going to die? Does it need this? Does it need that? It grows, and then harvesting. Oh my God, is there enough to harvest? What if something happens? Taking it out to market. What if I get pulled over? I don't know. Some things. Don't. Just empty your mind, okay? So this timeline has fears about wealth and money, and maybe with this, it's interesting because this Emperor in your emotional space is very dominating and dominant. So I would feel like I kind of feel like this wealth, claim it, it's yours. This timeline, this healthy one over here with the healthier mentality is going to manifest wealth. Is going to manifest anything that they need because they're healing, number one. and they're coming into a balance. They're working with radiant energy, their own energy field, learning about meditation, learning about tarot, learning about astrology, learning about themselves. Whether that's through psychology or philosophy or reading, whatever happens to be, whatever it is to bring yourself back into balance. And so you will reprogram your subconscious. You will get into the theta brainwave state when you're going to sleep, waking up. You will reprogram the subconscious to change your outward reality. You will do it. You will shift your timeline, and it'll be perfect because you're doing everything that you can do, and then everything else you surrender. That's actually directing lightning bolts. This was really cool. When I channeled this one on my channel here and did the spread on it, I had this crazy experience where I was the lightning bolt, and I was like in the air, and it was like white fire surrounding me, and I was like speeding through the air as like a fast, like I literally like was the speed of light, and I saw the tower, and I knew that I was going to make impact with this thing, and it was dark, it was blackout, but I could see the tower because it was being illuminated by me because I was the lightning bolt, and I was like, oh my, and I was just it was so hot, and that's why this is the image, because it was just like that, like just white fire. It's intense. So this is absolutely a quantum shift. You are shifting timeline. It definitely has something to do with wealth or self-esteem or both, and you're ready to step into the powerful version of you. There's something that you may be working on psychologically or emotionally regarding your personal power, where it may scare you. You may not like it. You may feel uncomfortable with being truly powerful. Yet the ego, that's where the ego has been coming up to kind of overcompensate. The ego overcompensates because you actually have a fear of being empowered, because you have a fear of what it means to truly control your life, direct your own lightning bolts. So once you let this ego go, release that ego, gosh, you're just totally unstoppable. You have this Queen of Wands, like feeling really, really optimistic, entrepreneurial, spicy, sexy, attractive, just a healthy sense of self-esteem is this Queen of Wands. Emperor with this strength energy. The strength energy is also working with overcoming the animal passions. That's why they're there with the lion. Overcoming the lower animal passions. And this is the whole point of existence in our incarnational cycle, is to overcome being human. We're born into these human bodies, but our consciousness is here. And the body is the avatar that the consciousness is driving around. When you're having out-of-body experiences, which you do every night when you go to sleep, when you're astral traveling, or when you remote view, for instance, you are learning how to put your body asleep and your mind is still awake, and you learn how to consciously separate your consciousness. You either come out of your crown, or you like sit up, you peel out of your body, and you go do whatever you want. You go spy on people, you go to Russia. I don't know. Actually, don't go to Russia. Don't do that. They have their own remote viewers, their own psychics that will find you. Okay, so jokes. Okay. But this strength energy, it's like remembering your divinity, remembering that you are a divine being in human flesh. So whatever is coming up for you, you overcome it because you're divine, because you are so much more. Okay. Let's get divine feather last but not least, and then I'll let you guys to your timeline jumping meditations and affirmations and subconscious reprogrammings. What's the guidance? Ooh, that was clearly for you. The canary. This is the feather. Step forward now and sing your song. There is power in finding your voice. So for those of you that are musicians, this is your special, very special message. Oh, can you kind of see that? Step forward now and sing your song. There is power in finding your voice. Hit on that power note. Power, power, power. Power in finding your voice. What do you have to speak and give life to? And remember what I said. Sound changes the level of vibration. And with the strength energy, what builds strength? If you have a primary care physician, that's your higher self, and then you have a specific ailment, then you go see a specialist. Those are the spirit guides. So the spirit guides are specialists in whatever you're trying to learn here on planet Earth. So in this incarnation, if you're trying to learn strength, you're going to have a spirit guide that's going to put obstacles in your way so that you figure out how to get through them, around them, over them, or under them, and figure it out. You're going to need spiritual courage that develops into spiritual strength. You need courage as you're moving through the obstacle, as you're overcoming the ego death in particular. It's a power issue that this timeline version of you has, where you're not comfortable with being truly empowered yet. You're not comfortable having agency over your own life. And there's something about the voice is what I'm getting, especially with this Two of Swords and your mental energy. Something about not being comfortable speaking the truth. But over here in this healthy, luscious, beautiful, gorgeous timeline, truth is your victory. Truth is your like magic sauce. Truth is your win. It's your win, man. Huron. I love this card so much. Huron, bottom of the deck, Huron. Let go of convention and follow your own unique path. She's giving me that thing with the almost like the early 2000s, or that example with like the cheerleader and the goth, or the skateboarder and the prom queen. It's very much like there's this oddness, an odd match or an odd couple, or you might be going into a whole different profession that's an odd match for you on the surface, but it's perfect for you. So whatever your convention is, because in some cultures, tattoos are so unconventional. No. But in other cultures, tattoos are extremely conventional. Everybody has face tattoos. So what is conventional in your current milieu? And what are you being drawn to? Let go of convention. And did I show you guys? I think I did. And follow your own unique, okay, you can't even see it, but let go of convention and follow your own unique path. Let go of convention and follow your own unique path. Okay? Let go of convention and follow your own unique path. Okay. I will do more on timeline shifting. This feels like we got the message out. It feels really great. But let me know how you guys feel about this, how you guys feel after this energy work. And that's what I do in all of these readings, all of these tarot readings and everything on Patreon. This is all energy work that we are doing here together, and then I help you guys along with. So yeah, there might be more timeline tarot readings, because this happens like in like waves for me when I take these temperature checks and what's coming up in my Zoom sessions with people. So okay, if you guys need help, let me know. Otherwise, my loves, have a lovely evening or morning or afternoon wherever you happen to be. I am with you always, rooting for you in your corner, sending you all of my love. So until next time, dearies, many, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.